Many of us must have heard about database, but today I'll be sharing with us the introduction to Relational Database Management System. Most of us must have been hearing about database, fetch this from database, add this to the database, but not all of us knows full details what database really does, or how to implement, or which kind of tools to use. So today we'll be looking into that. So before we proceed, these are the things we'll be looking into. Introduction, which you can't see. I just listen to my voice. I'll carry you around. So these are the following things we'll be looking into. The quick introduction to database, the kind of database we have, the types, the characteristics, also reason why database is very important. We'll also look into that, and the type of database we have. And don't forget, we'll be focusing our attention on Relational Database Management System. So let's begin. The first thing we should be asking ourselves, just to clarify, I'm very sure that majority of us knows what database is all about, but to be able to structure this KD and to be able to carry itself all along, the first thing we should do is to define what database is. So database is a collection of related data which represents some aspect of the real world. Like I've said earlier, there's no way you won't relate with data. You may create a website where your user will need to register for them to be able to log into that software. So you will have stored their information in your database for that to happen. So database system is designed to build and populated with data for a certain task. There are a lot of reasons you can set up a database. Like for universities, it could be for course registration. For an airline company, it could be for booking tickets or whatever. For customer service, it could be for accessing your customer information, email address, phone number, and all that. So now we'll be looking into something. We've defined what database is, and I presume majority of us here have clear definition of what database is all about. So we'll be looking into something else which is very close to database, which is database management system. There is difference between these two. So DBMS is actually a software. It's used for storing data and retrieving user data. So if you're creating database, for you to be able to access those data inside the database, you need a management system for you to be able to do that. Without management system, you won't be able to probably store or retrieve, even query your database. So this is also very important, and it consists of a group of programs which manipulate the database. Like I have said, you can use it to manipulate database. Probably you want to remove something, you want to add another data, or you want to delete one particular data. So you need this software to be able to do that. Without it, you won't be able to. So this is also very important when we are talking about database. So database management system also accepts the requests for data from application, and it gives instruction to the operating system to provide a specific data. Like most of the time, there is one language, SQL, especially here in Nigeria. For MySQL is what they normally use to query database. For example, if you want a particular probably want in your database, and you want information for a particular location, probably Abeokuta. Through the SQL in your database, you can write a query, and among all the database you have in the world, and it will bring out that of Lagos or Abeokuta, whatever one you want. And even if you want to select those ones that are male, that are female, you'll be able to do that. So this allows users to create their own database as per their requirements. So I think that's enough. So we'll quickly dash into the reason for database. Whatever I've been saying, if there is no tangible reason for you to establish database, we are just wasting our time. So I think this aspect is actually important, because when we actually know the reason why we have to set up database, it will give us the right mindset on how to go about it, and it enables us to know the importance of setting up database and doing it in the right way. So without wasting our time, I have a list of sectors here. There is more to it, but these are the major sectors which require database. For banking sector, you can use it for customer information, account activities, payments, deposits, loan. Imagine you go to a bank and you have a complaint. Probably you want to add email to your bank account. So you get to the cashier, and the cashier said, give us 5 hours. We need to check all our papers we filed. Imagine if you went to FCMB and Lord, you want to add something to your account, and they have to go into their one big store and they are looking for your file. Imagine the kind of days it will take. But with database, they can easily do some little query, and they will get all your information, and whatever changes they need to make, it will be very easy for them to make it. So airline, for reservation, schedule information. Universities, for most students, for course registration, for college and grades. Imagine from 100 level, all your CGPA was stored in a paper, and at final year, the person in charge has to be looking for your paper and be writing each grade out. There will be mistake, but from the database, all the grades you've been having from 100 level to 400 or 500 level, they can easily have access to it. So database makes getting information and storing data easy. If you're storing your data in a file or in one paper, you can easily get lost. Or there could be like fire outbreak or something that will damage the file. But with database, you'll be able to prevent that. So telecommunication, it helps for keeping all records, monthly bills, maintaining balance. In finance, for storing information about stocks, sales, purchases of financial instruments. For HR management, for information about employees, salaries, payrolls, deduction, generation of payments, and all that. So you can see that there is a reason for each and every one of us to know about database. Even if we can actually query it, but whenever they are talking about, or your boss said, tell social person to get this from database, you won't be wondering that what is he referring to. So we'll quickly dash into the next section. So quickly we'll look at the characteristics of database, and don't forget, our focus is actually on relational database management system, but we can't just jump into it. For us to be able to get that, we need to, is the steps. So if we just talked about relational database management system without talking about this, many people will actually get lost. So quickly we'll look talked about the characteristics of database management system. And the first one on my list is that it provides security and removes redundancy. In the sense that, like I have said, all your information and data will be stored. Imagine you're storing in a paper or in a document. It's not secured. Something could happen to it. Like I've said earlier, there could be a fire outbreak. Or like here in Lagos, there could be, probably you didn't store it well, and one stupid rat might just enter your storehouse and diminish everything. So another one that I have a self-described nature of a database system. We now won't waste our time on this, so I'll just quickly read it out. Installation between programs and data abstraction. Support all multiples view of the data. Sharing of data and multi-user transaction process. It allows entities and relations among them to form tables. So this is actually talking about relational database. We are going there. So it follows this ACID concept. ACID concept is actually a form of transaction property for data management to ensure validity. So this database management. Now, I should have said something earlier. We actually have two forms of database system. We have the database management system. There is another one, flat file. So we'll compare both in my next slide. So flat file management system is another form of database. But comparing it to database management system, the users have multiple access. So the other one does not support multiple user access. So the DBMS designed to fulfill the need for all small and large business. But the other one can only be used for small business because it can't store large data. So the database management system removes redundancy and it ensures integrity. And for the other one, the case is the opposite. Though the other one is cheaper compared to data management system, but in terms of the quality you get and the integrity, it is advisable to go for database management system. So here are the examples and popular data management system we have. Like here at Bincom, the one we use is MySQL. We have other one, Microsoft Access, Oracle, DBase, FoxPro, MariaDB, and whatever. But the one we use here is Microsoft MySQL. Sorry. So the type of, we are narrowing down to our major focus for today. The type of data management system we have hierarchical management system, we have the network, we have the relational, which we'll be talking about. Then we have the object-oriented model. So I'll just pick the relational model. It's actually a type of data management system. It's the mostly used, widely used model because it's one of the easiest to use compared to other type network. Like for hierarchical database management system, it uses a tree-like structure. So it organizes the data in the tree-like structure where probably parents, then the children and all that. But in terms of relational model, database management system, it's actually easy to use and it makes use of SQL to store and to retrieve data. Like I said, that's the kind of database management system we use at Bincom. So among the 4 types of database management system I've mentioned, why DBMS? Now this is actually designed to handle large amounts of data. That's why it's most used and it's very important compared to. So it supports multiple users. The example of it is my SQL Server, Oracle. So it also has the ability to handle multitudes of data and complex queries. Definitely, if you want to design a data storage system that makes it easy to manage a lot of information, it is advisable to go for this DBMS. So that's why we are talking about it today. So quickly, I will just do a little demonstration on how to implement this. So how to create a database and what it entails to create a database using my SQL. The first step you want to do, the first thing, now I said we use my SQL, but yeah, we use it through a studio, like it was my PHP admin. Some of us are aware. So my PHP admin use my SQL. So whatever we're doing, I'll show you a couple of pictures too. But the first thing you want to do, using my SQL database, the first thing is creating a database first. So there's one section I will show you later on where you can easily click and create new database, and you just write. That should be the first thing. Create a database. Then the first thing is creating a table. Because my SQL makes use of tables and rows for it to store data. Inside the database, you can have as many as tables you want. And between the tables, there are relations between them. It has access. You can call a particular table to appear in another table. That's what makes it relational database management system. So there is something I would like us to see. So after creating a database, the first thing you want to do is to, why is it not showing? Please give me a few seconds. My system is a little bit slow, so I'm sorry about that. Which are IDs, user ID, type, amount. Then you notice something that inside amend table, we have user ID. Now this user ID is from user table. So from within user amend table, you can have access through this user ID, all the entities you have inside user table. Likewise, compared to shifts, we have user ID also. And all these things, integer, class, are actually data types. So we talked about that in the next one. So the steps, after creating the table, next thing you want to do is to name the table. Sorry about this, it's not quite clear. So actually this is my PHP admin. You can see from here, this is actually database name. Like the one I screenshot, I have like 6 database already. Now when you select, there is one button here, you select it. Now it will bring out all the tables you have in that database. Now there will be a section to create new table. For you to create a new table, like this column is for, you enter the name of the table you want to create, then you state the number of columns for the entity. If you probably want to have 4 entities within the table, you just put it there, 4. Now while creating the table, the entities you want to enter, probably ID, name, address, phone number. Now there is a section where you need to state, for example, phone number, it's an integer. So you have to put it there. So what this is actually do is, normally if you want to create using SQL, you have to write codes, create so table, put in the name. You have to write out all the entities. But with this, you can easily create a table and database by just clicking inputting data. So after that, have I taken much? So these are actually the steps after creating a table. Now the type of number field you need, now I've said that. So when creating a table, you input all the entities. It could be student ID. So I don't think we really need this. So after you've created database and a table, this is how it will look like on my PHP, my admin. So if you actually need more information about this, you can ask any of the PHP team there, they will put you through. So we continue. Question.